Alright, you violent pieces of shits, welcome back. Today I'm starting a new series. I've already mentioned this, but if you're new, then like, subscribe, or fuck off my channel! I said like, subscribe, or fuck off my channel. I know sometimes my accents are hard to understand. But yes, please do stay. I'm desperate for your attention. More than anything, I'm desperate for your retention. So keep me on in the background and let's draw. So yeah, today I'm drawing from reference, right after my whole bout of drawing from imagination. The three things I'm going to be working on is to improve my visual library for this bout, however long it takes, a week, whatever, right? Few days per reference, is going to be guns, tanks, and planes, because that's basically what I'm interested in and what I'm interested in getting better at. Because my planes were horrendous, my tank made no sense, and the gun was just fucking like it was cool. I guess it was cool to look at, but it was retarded. It functionally made no sense. So obviously, I have an image of a gun off to the side on my iPad, which is being held up by a holder of sorts that I got on Amazon, which I should add to the description actually. I do need another affiliate link. I should add that shit. But it's the gun is in one angle. It's kind of laying on its side like this L shape. And Story Kim actually mentions this as well. She says I have her Domestica course, which again is not for beginners, but it's targeted as for beginners. So I literally didn't do it because like a lot of the concepts she was teaching were going over my head, and the application was just not there. Plus, I was a lazy piece of shit, but more so the former than the latter. But she says if you want to get better at drawing something, you obviously want to draw it in a different angle. So I'm going to first draw in an angle that I'm comfortable with, obviously, because the most difficult thing right now is to look at the image and rotate it already in my mind. And I'm also going to approach this the Artwad way, which is let's focus on only the biggest shapes. Like that's my main thing right now. I want to focus on only the biggest shapes, right? That's huge because I have a tendency to get really caught up in the nitty gritty, right? I don't know what this gun is called. I found this on Pinterest. Okay, so there's that. I also need to understand how this thing is laid out. But, okay. And then there's something over here that's an attachment. To think about only the biggest shape, right? So it is something like this, I think. I don't know what this looks like per se. But I guess if I were to look at it as only a big shape, it would be... Okay, well, I guess I can do something like this first. Again, this is probably not going to be the most quote-unquote entertaining video, because I'm just learning. Nobody finds learning entertaining, they just want you to be God. So, I cannot provide that in this instance. And there's just a square-like shape, right? We can just do that. A square-like shape. Coming out here with maybe a half ellipse. Something like that. Right? And it's supposedly coming out like so. And then it goes all the way back. Again, right now we're gonna really only just focus on this general shape language. I'm gonna try to avoid all these little details I see as much as possible. Right? This is basically what it is. It's like a little square thing attached to this. And then we have rectangular shape. A long rectangular shape. Well, first we have this. And this is a bit more of an advanced gun, so that's actually good. And then we have another sort of beveled. Like so. And it's a bit... Is it behind this rectangular shape? I guess technically it's something like this. Right, you have a long one and then a small one. And then it's beveled? I'm gonna just assume it's something like this. Right? There's a bunch of like little divots poking out. We're gonna ignore all of that and we're just going to extend it as we see appropriate. Right. And then over here, what can I make this shape? I can just make this shape. It is something like this again. But this time, it's much, it's like flatter, right? I guess it's something like that. And it is, it's like cutting off almost. It's like this, right? So that's fine, I think. Something like this. And then we'll see the opposite end like that. Right. We can ignore all the attachments for now, because these are just the general shapes I'm really trying to get in mind. And then at the end of this, there's just another rectangle. There you go. Cool. Let me rest my brain. You see, just by doing basic stuff, like trying to really focus on only basic shapes, it's already starting to look like a gun type thing, right? Which isn't really my intent. I don't give a shit if it looks like a gun or not. I give a shit whether I'm trying to portray the shapes accurately, right? And by trying to portray the shapes accurately, it's looking more and more gun-like. But I'm gonna try to fill this entire page and the back as well, right? With this shape, with this design language. Anyways, let me rest my brain. Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel as if it's going pretty decently. And what else? Now this shape is just a giant, it's technically a manipulated cylinder. It's more of a hexagon, but we're gonna ignore all of that and we're just gonna make it a cylinder. Because that's what's important right now. It's just getting down the main shapes, right? Maybe I should make this a bit bigger. Technically the reference is not like this, but just for consistency's sake. There you go. Right? And then, what do we have? You got this little rectangular thing, you got this thing poking out. And now we need to get the handle. So the handle is going to be a bit difficult, but we can maybe hopefully make it not as difficult, because it essentially is just something like this, I believe. And then it's angled, right? This thing's actually a pretty thin gun now that I look at it, but that's the beauty. It's like once I get this design language down, it doesn't have to be a thin gun, you know? And it's angled outward. Yeah, it's angled a bit outward, like so. And same thing. Over here, it is something like this, right? And I believe the perspective is still the same. And now for the, like this shit over here, right? We need, so we have for the trigger, I believe that's called the trigger. It's just something as simply as that. And then there's just also a covering over it, right? It's just a covering, a very basic covering that will be going around. And that's how it goes. This, it's kind of like that. And there you go. That's the simple gun. If I want to make it maybe a bit more, I can technically just do this because this is like a slight little jutting out thing. Wait. Oh, I fucked this up. It's supposed to be like, this part is wrong. I knew something was off there. But it's more like this. There you go. Because then we can do this. And this is jutting out. And this is the gun. Right? Like a little box attached to it. But that seems to be all it is. Right? Handle was probably the most difficult part to rotate. But there you go. That's not bad at all. I mean, just for trying to attempt it. So now we can try doing this in a different angle, right? Which can be something like this. And now I'm literally just gonna ignore the reference. Actually, should I ignore the reference? I don't know. This is the thing. I'm still trying to figure out what the best way to go about practicing this is. But if I just focus on rotating the form, right? Obviously trying to visualize to the best of my ability. There you go. It comes out that way. And we can just do something like that. Right? Still just a box at the end of the day. And then what do we have? We have, I guess with the way I did it, this is like a bit larger. And then it comes out. And we have, in this angle, we have, what is it? Small rectangle. And then we have, what do we have? Actually, this is technically incorrect, but I'll just leave it as this. And then this is something that's sort of beveled. And then it goes further back. Maybe I made that a bit too small in comparison, right? Maybe it could have been a bit bigger. Technically, actually, I made it right the first time, I think, though. And then we have this shape right here, right? Which is again, maybe things are a bit misaligned here now. But what is this thing? This thing juts out. It's like this. There you go. And it seems to be connected at the back, like so. Which is probably what I missed the first time around. And then there's like another rectangle, right? So it's something like that. And then it ends right there. So something like, there you go. Does that make much sense? Maybe not. Obviously, I had a feeling I could have gone down a bit further here to give some space. Right? Then over here, what's going on here? Well, again, think about it functionally speaking. Something like this. Goes down. If this is the angle, maybe I can just move it back slightly. something like that. Right. This thing is still following the angle, of course. And what's happening here? We have, okay, so the handle trigger, I guess, follows this. And then we have this little covering here. Right? And then this goes like that. It's a bit lost in translation, obviously. But hey, it's not too bad. And then we have a bar sticking out, right? Like there's like just like this little thing here. So what does that look like? Like this, possibly. Right? But now I'm going to, let's try doing it off memory now. Let's ignore the reference. I'm gonna rest my brain again, and then let's try doing it off memory. It's gonna look really bad, of course. I'm gonna try my best not to look at these, right? Recall is how you learn, so. Okay, let's do it. Let's do our best not to look at these other examples and just do it. So, and language is very powerful, so let's use language to describe it. So we have a cylinder that comes here like this, right? There's a box like shape, which also, I'm just calculating everything right now. It should be like that roughly, right? Right, something like this. There is a box-like shape from what I know that is essentially kind of coming around. Right. I think I'm already messing it up a little, but it's a bit longer. Okay, and then what else is there? Well, I know that this keeps going. Perhaps still here, and then there's like a connection here. Right, and then this one gets a lot longer or bigger, right? And as this goes on, there's a, let's see, a rectangle. It's actually more like this. And then what's after that? After that, there's the curve thingy. So it's like that. And that goes on for a little bit until it gets stopped, I believe. Yeah, until it gets stopped, I believe, by, and again, this is obviously very rough, but another rectangle. It's kind of, yeah, okay, I'm starting to see the perspective a bit more in my mind. Thicker. I think I'm missing that thing. So what is that thing exactly? That thing is like, it's like this, and then it goes off into a rectangle, I think, like that maybe. It could be incorrect. And that's the end of the gun, right? Obviously the lines are not as consistent, but that is the end of the gun. Again, I'm trying to do this from memory, so bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, and then from here we have just, is it the, okay, don't look at the example. I'm doing my best not to look at it. From here we have the fucking, what is it, the trigger, right? So okay, I could technically do this, and then we just need to figure out the angle for this. So maybe it's more that, right? And it's also angled down a bit, so right, something like that. And this is where we possibly get this, so kind of like that. And then we have the trigger, which is, oh wait, that's the wrong angle, it should be like that. I'm just I just don't know how this thing should be, oh fuck, this thing should be angled. And then we have this, right, it's going over it. Is that okay? It's not bad, to be honest. It's all right. What did I miss? I actually didn't miss anything. Holy shit, I fucked this up. But oh, I missed this. So yeah, it's not bad. First gun drawn from imagination. It's not bad at all. Let me look at the reference again. Probably the best way to go about it. Keep going back and forth between reference and knowledge, right? So this gun is angled. Yeah, it is angled a bit differently. Okay, I see. This actually should have been more like this. I'll bring it down a little. There you go. Same thing. I'm just trying to figure out. No, wait. Is it angling towards or? Yeah, actually, never mind. It is going this way. It's angling like this. So actually, this was the correct way. Never mind. This way was the correct way. So we could try to make it maybe. I'm trying to think. Well, let me rest my brain and then I'll try doing it again from memory, right? But actually, let me study the trigger a bit more, because it seems simple in retrospect, right? Oh, but here, that's the issue. This wasn't thick enough. I should have started this a bit further back. Bless me. But yeah, this should have been more. Yeah, like it should have been here, and then I should have gone like so, right? Something like that. Obviously angled better, but something like that. Anyways, it's a bit rough, but let me rest my brain. We'll try again. I'll do it again from memory. Okay, actually that works. Do it twice from reference and rotating. Do it twice from memory while rotating, and then just keep doing that twice and twice and twice until it starts to look better and better, and just make that conscious effort. That's pretty good. All right, cool. Yeah, this is fun as shit. I love the trial and error of drawing. I think drawing is probably the best medium to just see such a tangible difference in trial when it comes to trial and error, as long as you're making an effort, of course. But okay, I already did these angles. What's another angle I can do? We could do something like this. Okay, so we know for sure that it's like this now. Right, there's nothing going on this end. We have a little attachment here. I guess it's the best way to call it. It's much wider than that actually. If we look at the reference, I'm not looking at the reference, but I just remembered that it is much wider than that. I think the perspective is already a bit off, but I think I can make it work. And there's something like this. I don't know what this is, but this is definitely a shape that we can fuck around with after. Right? Yeah, see, perspective's definitely a bit off. But it's okay. We can just pretend like it never happened. Like so. Right? Just literally pretend like it never happened. Ta-da! But I think that ends roughly around here, right? Yeah, another thing going like that. And then perhaps the bigger one. I will say I did look at that reference for a second, so that's on me. I'll own up to it. Right? This one's actually really off. Fuck, I'm looking at all the references. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to draw from memory, but now that I know that it's off, I'm fucking up. Yeah, because it's supposed to connect through this. Okay, well, I might as well look at my drawings that I made and see what went wrong now. Oh, okay, because obviously it's supposed to have a connection here. We're not supposed to see that bottom, right? Something like that, right? Then it is angled towards. It's like this. Okay. And what else? I obviously wouldn't know what this bottom end looks like, but I'm just trying to do my best. That's the trigger, I think, right? Can just do it like that. It's connected like right here, right? Okay, so we're not even supposed to be seeing this. This should be like that. Okay, so I made a lot of mistakes with this one. So that's good. That's really good. This is an interesting shape though. Because again, if I were to just keep the perspective in mind, this thing, right? I keep actually losing the perspective, so I should focus on that more. So now we have this, which has, again, the little rectangle thing. Which is fine, and then it has this, right? And again, we have this thing. No, wait. I'm losing the perspective massively here, actually. Something like that. Okay, so that's wonky as fuck. Oh, that's so wonky. But my problem is clearly I'm not utilizing the grid, right? So let me rest my brain. I'm going to do it again exactly in a different angle, but really think about the grid, right? And how the shapes connect. But yeah, I'm not going to count this one as drawing from memory because obviously I ended up just looking at the example. So let's try it again. First, I need to establish perspective in my mind. Like the box that I put it in, right? Okay, now that I think that I've established it, I must stick to it. This is where a lot of thinking comes into play. Because obviously I want to ensure that I'm accurate this time. Right? Okay. And then this. Comes out like that, right? Something like that. And then we have... Cool. And here's where we have the gun. Right? Like... something like that as the trigger point. And then how should the fucking trigger, not the trigger point, the fucking covering, how should the trigger attach here? I guess just from the top for the time being, right? Something like that. And then here we have the little rectangle thing. Of course. Something like that. It's a bit too far out, but it's okay. And then we have this, right? Which goes like up to here. And then, let's see. We also have this thing. And this shape is actually, it's a bit interesting because again, it's like this, and then what? Like that. Okay, that seems a bit more accurate. And then there's another box attached here. I'm trying to keep all this in mind. I think it's maybe losing its place a bit. The perspective is actually a bit off here. So it should be like that. There you go. Yeah, then there's just a box that's... Perspective is a bit wonky, but I'm still trying to keep it in mind. Right? And then that's when we have something like that, right? Shit, I think I fucked something up. Yeah, this is supposed to have an end like that, and then this comes down, I believe. Right, so it's supposed to be more like this. And then that's where, okay, so it's obviously issues. Huh, definitely issues. That's because I didn't keep the overall shapes in mind. They're not attaching properly. I thought I was doing it okay, but I wasn't, clearly. Still trying to keep the perspective in mind. We'll see the bottom of this. Maybe it'll be a bit bigger. And then it will... Well, it's okay. I don't think this definitely looks very wonky though. Super wonky actually. What the fuck did I do? What the fuck did I do? Okay, let me rest my brain, and now we're gonna go back to drawing from the reference. Right. Because that's also important. Okay, let me rest my brain. Yeah, as always, I have a tendency to overestimate myself. So perhaps I'll just keep doing guns until I'm comfortable. And if by then, however long it's been, if I feel like it's time to continue or return to my fundamentals practice block, then I'll do that. Right? So I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I specifically want to eat the entire thing. So I think at this point, it would be good to add an orthographic view. Right, let's do that with, we can just do it with this pen. Okay, so it's essentially, right, cylinder, and then I guess, like box cutout. Oh, that's another thing, yeah, there you go, that's another fuck up right here that I've been, it's not, it's way too close, I just took that in, it's way too close. Right, box cutout, it should be back here. Box cutout thingy with like the semicircle cutout, and then goes a bit back, and then we have, it's like this with the gun, the fucking trigger of course, and then like this with this shape. Let's just say it's attached like that, and this one is going like so, you know, coming a bit back, And obviously I'm doing this reversed, but I think, yeah, it's like this. I'm just trying to think. I flip it over. Okay, I have to rotate this in my head, so give me a second from the reference. But if it's going back, yeah, okay, so it's like this. And then we're following, okay, well, let's complete this, because we have to think about the proportions as well, which is really important, right? So let me just bring this, where does it come up to? Well, it comes up to all the way here. It comes up to all the way here, actually. Oh no, it comes up to here. So it's like this is the back. And then again, this way now it's going like that. It's curving back inwards. We'll just make this straight for the time being. And then this is the second, I guess, cylinder, right? Okay, well, this, I guess, is in between. We'll make this second cylinder a bit taller, right? And then this is where like all the other fucky shit's going on. So we'll just do, that's the first thing. And then right behind that is the second curved thingamajiggy, right? And then behind that is, oh, it's behind, is it on top of it? Is it on top of it? Oh, it's on top of it. Okay, so just gotta keep that in mind. But this is the, actually this is the shape too here. Yeah, very similar shapes. They're just formed differently. But yeah, this is this one. Up here, right? It's on top of it, so it should be like this. Yeah, for this thing. And then that one ends right as this one ends, and then there's another rectangle like that. And then it ends like so. Okay, so that is the orthographic view, right? Which seems relatively accurate, although this is a bit too long. It's angled a bit too much. But yeah, it should be more like this. There you go, let's cut this off. Right, that's the orthographic view. So now that I have that, I actually don't even need the reference, hopefully. How the fuck is it? Dude, I swear, like, between 20 to 40 minutes, I don't know where that time goes. But let's just try drawing it a bit small and seeing what I can come up with. Right? Now that I have this as a reference, I should be able to do more with it. Right? There you go. This thing obviously juts out a little. And then we can continue onwards with, oh well, I kind of fucked up the angle a little bit, but that's okay. Right? And now we have this. So from this angle, well, first we can do this, right? Fuck it, I fucked up the angle here, so let's just try to fix that a little. But from this angle, we can do, it goes all the way down. It goes much, oh, it starts here. Okay, that makes sense. There you go, there you go. See, this is why this shit's necessary. Because we can do something like this. It starts off like that, right? And then just like that, now we can create something more believable. Right? And this can keep going. So what do we have here? We have this thing. We have this rectangle over here. Right? And again, this isn't, I'm not trying to be perfect right now. I'm just really trying to get the shapes across. And then we have the curved thing, like so, which goes on for a little bit. And then we have this other fucking thing right on top of it. That's like this. Right? And the shape itself kind of, there you go, like that. And this ends along with that, right? The curved thing. And then we have a little rectangle right at the end, right? And then this, all the way this comes back like so, right? We bring it down and then it goes this way. And now we just have something, I fucked up something somewhere. This is too short. There you go. This should have been back here, because then it would have been something like this. Well, if I'm facing this way, what angle is this going at? Obviously, I want to do. This is going to be way too thick, of course, but is it? Yeah, it's like that. So yeah, clearly fucked up the proportions because this is way too thick. So where does this meet? This meets in the middle. So this should have been back here because this meets in the middle of this little curved thing. So it technically needs to be half of this entire cylinder. So I need to have the entire cylinder in mind so I can create this half portion. So if I can see, now it's going back like this. You see how much easier that is? Right, and even this, because yeah, more than anything, this trigger is starting here, you know? Yeah, and then that's when I can do something like that. See, that's much thinner. This is where it should be, right? This is actually the size. This is where the fucking handle should be, right here. This is how big it ended up being. So, too fucking big. But yeah, I gotta keep the entire thing in my mind more. So that's the most important thing. Let me, to the best of my ability, do that for the next, I don't know, probably 2 guns, right? But let me rest my brain. Alright, cool. Let me just look at that reference one more time just to make sure I understand it correctly. Wait, fuck. I think I got this part wrong. This is supposed to be like this, angled. Yeah, it's coming back. And it's angling back. Yeah, that's wrong. It's supposed to be like this. So any of these... that's already fucking wonky-ass perspective, but it's supposed to be going back. Yeah, I established that before. So it's supposed to be going like this. Yeah, like that. Same here. This is supposed to be going back. Wow, I'm just noticing how shit all these guns are. I think the best one was obviously the one drawn from reference, right? To understand the shape. Even this should be like this, going back like so. There you go. See, that just makes more sense in terms of our sort of subconscious understanding of a gun's design. Right, but let's keep going. Let's keep going and Maybe I should try simpler angles, just so I can understand the shapes a bit better. And once I intuited that, we can go to the more difficult ones, right? So again, let's try. I mean, actually, might as well just fuck it. Fuck it. Why do difficult when I can do hard? So I'm gonna verbalize this to myself, and then we'll see if I got it right. So first, there's just this one cylinder. Is that correct? We'll double check. Yes. Okay. And then there is the other cylinder. Is that correct? Yes. But coming out of this other cylinder is also. Well, I gotta think about the perspective for this. It's the main thing to keep in mind. Is the perspective, right? So yeah. Okay. There you go. This is also correct. Now this thing goes on for, let's say, that much. It's basically just a bit less than this, I think. Yeah. So now I can confirm that is true. And then after that, we have the one on top. Right? Now, I guess in my thing, I made it a lot bigger. And also, perhaps, this should have been much lower. Right? Maybe this should have been down here. But either way, we have this second one up here. And this is where a lot of proportions are necessary. So this is actually where I will be looking at my little orthographic view here, because I know that we have that first little rectangle. Where does it stop? Or where does it start? It starts right around here. Right? Something like that. Okay, got that down. And the next thing is, well, in this case, I can actually just make this thing exactly as big as it needs to be, which is like that, because it's roughly a bit less than double. So one. So I made it around double. So that's on me. But either way, that gives us a lot of leeway to do this, right? Now we also need to take into mind the halfway point, which I think I already fucked up somehow. Oof, that's difficult. What am I fucking up? Because yeah, this line is supposed to be in the middle of this. So this actually is a bit too far back. Okay, let's note that down. That rectangular shape is a bit too far back. It should have been right around here, right? Too far back. Cool. Try to think about the entire gun as well while I'm at it, of course. But got this. Perhaps because it's already a bit too far back, I can make right something like this thing should be so how would that look? It look like this. Yeah, there you go. Right, that is correct. Oh no, it's on top of it. It is on top of it. Okay, I got that down. And this ends obviously right where it should. Obviously the perspective is a bit off. And then we have this rectangle back here, which again, I'm just gonna something like that, right? And then this comes a bit down. So now we need to align this gun handle a bit better, even though I've already kind of fucked it up a little, right? This needs to, we have something like that. And then we're gonna have, this is much bigger. Okay, this is much bigger. So this has to be something like that. There you go. This is the angle, so we just have to tilt it off slightly, right? Like so. And it is going back. So it would actually be something like, this is the angle, it's going something like this. There you go. And of course, it's following its own perspective. Is it? Well, let's do this, right? Because this thing is attaching from the top. So, well, maybe I should cover it first, right? Something like that. And this is something like that. And then okay, that's not bad. That's, yeah, I mean, this is still a bit too thick, but you know, all things considered, it's okay. Something like that, right? Cool. If we look at it this way, right, it's okay. It's not bad. Honestly, it's definitely a step in the right direction, and the perspective is pretty decent. If you compare this to this, it's actually huge progress. And of course, this one was done through memory. This one I am using a reference technically, so cheating. Oh, it's cheating, but overall, I'm really trying to get the proportions down. I think it's getting better. So, how much time do we have? 2 minutes. I can maybe just break down like the top half. I don't know. Maybe I can do it again. I can do it again. All right, let me rest my brain. So what are the main proportions to get down? I mean, the only relations I need to, and I'm just thinking out loud, obviously, for myself. The main relation to get down is that this entire, so if I use this I have to use this initial cylinder as a reference. So if we call this 1, we can call this 1/2, we can call this 2. We can literally just make this 2, right? And then this can be, actually this wouldn't be 1/2, this would be more like 1/3. This can be 1/2, right? It's just these 3 relations need to be gotten down, because after that you're just connecting the dots with these and these, right? All I need to know is that this aligns with this, this shape right here, right? This shape aligns, or should be aligning with this. In my case, obviously it hasn't, but, and even the reference, like, yeah, kind of, but again, we're just using the shapes. Now it's not about making it extremely accurate to the reference anymore in terms of proportions. It's just about establishing my own proportions, because at the end of the day, it's going to look like a gun, right? That's the first step. We need it to look like a gun. This kind of does look like a gun now, you know? This looks like fucking, this looks like ass. But I think overall we're trending in the right direction. But the reason this one was so poor, now we can realize, is because I didn't understand the relations between this shape. Again, this shape is 1, right? Like a unit of 1. That's what I'm going to try to internalize it as, right? So why don't I just practice just getting this unit of 1, and it's like it's relevant pieces. So if that's 1, this is 1/3, right? So that means this is 1/2. So that means this needs to be like that. Right, and this is 2, so there you go, just like that. Literally just like that. Now we can just like that. And now it's so much more proportional, right? There you go. And now it just makes a lot more sense. Ta-da! We see just by keeping this as 1, 1/3, 2, and 1/2. This is the relation, these three. Because everything else, and then this thing needs to align here, right? So now we know this rectangle is there. Now this thing aligning right here, right? And then we have this fucker coming out. Something like that, right? This thing ends right here. And then we have the rectangle at the back. Boom. Everything makes so much more sense, right? See, look at that. This looks so much more legit. So there it is. And now we can start adding little cutouts, right? Making this gun look more legit. You know, this thing can have the little protrusions that it has, right? We can literally just start adding shit like this, like little subtractions, you know? Let's add a cylinder here, maybe some random shape cutting out like here, and boom, now it's a quote-unquote more advanced gun. There you go. But now that internalizing that shape is the first step. So wow, good shit. good fucking shit. I think that was a great session. I definitely learned a lot. And fucking yeah, wow, that was good. That was learning works. Oh my god, learning works. How long has it been? An hour. Okay, cool. All right, with a good session, like, subscribe, or fuck off. All that shit. I mean, if you're listening at this point, you're either subscribed or you aren't. So what the fuck are you doing if you're not subscribed? Are you just gonna listen to me ramble for an hour while I'm like, hey, this works, this doesn't work, and then you're just like, oh, I think I don't want to listen to this man again. After an hour of listening to my voice, you definitely want to listen to it again, especially the background music. Let's not forget, that's the glue that holds this channel together. So yeah, as always, fuck you for watching, keep drawing, and please give me money.